Myself Raj, welcome to Raj Online Trainings. In the series of Spring Framework and Spring Boot full course, in the last videos we have seen how to create a Spring Boot project using Spring Initializer, and even we have seen how to create a Spring Boot project in STS, that is Spring Tool Suite. And even we have discussed about how to make use of Lombok tool for generating the setters, getters and constructors using annotations. Today we are going to see very important module, that is how to do this Spring JDBC module using Spring Boot. We are going to see JDBC module using Spring Boot here. This is very important. If you remember, when we go with plain JDBC, what are the steps in plain JDBC? We need to handle the exceptions, then we need to load the driver class, establish the connection, then create statement, execute statement, then close statement, then close connection. These many steps we need to do when we go with what? Spring, that is plain JDBC. Sorry, in plain JDBC, what are the steps here? We need to handle the exceptions, load the driver class, we need to establish the connection, we need to create statement, execute statement, close statement and close connection. Whereas in the case of Spring JDBC, or you can even say Spring Boot JDBC, the number of steps are what here? Simple execute statement, handling of exceptions, closing operations, all these things are taken care by Spring Framework only. And what class we use for Spring JDBC? JDBC template class. JDBC template class of Spring API is used for Spring JDBC. What we use? JDBC template class. Now let us see the complete application. For this, let us create one table in MySQL. Open MySQL. Let me use RajTechDB, some database, and let us create one table. Create table product. Create table product. Product ID, int, product name, varchar of 10, then price, int of 4, some int, or you can even take float also, anything. Okay. Now, so we are creating a table product with 3 columns, PID, PName and price. Now, coming to Spring Tool Suite, let us create one Spring Starter project here. How to create Spring Starter project? You can say File, New, Spring Starter project. I am making use of Spring Tool Suite STS here as IDE, and let me go with the name Spring Boot JDBC. I am using the name Spring Boot JDBC. Type Maven, Java version 17, group com.rajtech, artifact it takes the name, and let me take package also springboot.jdbc. Now click next. Here we need to add the dependencies. What dependencies we are going to add over here is, let me go here, Spring Data JDBC. What we need to choose here? In order to make use of Spring JDBC in Spring Boot, which dependency we need to add? Spring Data JDBC. This dependency we need to add, and one more dependency we need to add. As we are connecting to MySQL database, we are going to add MySQL driver. So 2 dependencies we are adding. One is Spring Data JDBC and MySQL driver. So what is the main advantage of going with Spring Boot? Adding of dependencies in pom.xml file is very easy for us, and no need to create Spring Bin XML configuration file. and it comes with embedded Tomcat server. These are the main advantages of developing Spring applications using Spring Boot. Now select these two dependencies and click on Finish button, which is going to create the project for us. Now in this, if you open this pym.xml file, you can see here. See here, it has added the dependency Spring Boot starter data JDBC and MySQL connector, right? Now the next step, let us create one class here. Let us create one class under this package, new class. Let me go with the name product. Let us go with the name product. Now you can say finish. Now we missed out to add the dependency, that is Lombok. No worries, let us not use Lombok in this case. In the next example, we'll go with Lombok tool. Now here, let us go with this product. In this, let us go with the properties like private int product ID, private string product name, then private int price. Now, so here we can make use of Lombok tool. So we did not add the dependency. We can even copy explicitly and add it in pym.xml file, but let me not use this Lombok in this example. Now let me generate the setters and getter methods. Select all, generate. Now this product class is ready. Once this class is ready, now let us go with a DAO interface in our package. In this package, com.springboot.jdbc under src main Java folder, let us create one interface. Let me go with the name product DAO. I'm going with the name DAO. So what is DAO? Data access object, and what it holds, it contains the set of methods mainly used to operate the database. Create this interface and go with the methods like public void insert product, which takes product object as argument. One more method like update product. When we provide the product ID, we want to change the price. We want to update the price. Public void delete product. If you provide the product ID, that record we want to delete, that product we want to delete. And one more public list map string comma object get all products. So this is going to return all the records present in your product table. Now once we create this interface, now we need to implement this interface. So how to implement the interface? Right click on your package com.springboot.jdbc, create a class, go with the name product DAO IMPL. Product DAO IMPL. Now make this class implements product DAO. Now keep mouse pointer on this header and you can add the unimplemented methods. Now which class we use for Spring JDBC? The class what we use for Spring JDBC is JDBC template. So create a property JDBC template, import the packages. This JDBC template is present in which package? org.springframework.jdbc.core package. And go with the property here. That is not property @autobyte, annotation @autobyte to inject automatically. So that we need not go with constructor injection or setter injection. Now, so when we have seen Spring Framework, the same Spring JDBC model. So in order to inject this JDBC template into our bean class, we have created one Spring Bean XML configuration file. That is not required in the case of Spring Boot module. In the case of Spring Boot module, no need to create any Spring Bean XML configuration file or no need to create any configuration file. These all things are not required when we make use of Spring Boot module. These are the advantages. Now, write the code inside these methods. So, insert product. Insert product. Now, prepare the SQL command. Insert into product values question mark. Insert into product values question mark. Now we need to execute this command. You can say JDBC template dot update, pass your SQL command. Then we need to replace these question marks with our product object values like this. Product dot get PID, which is going to return the product ID value, which is replaced in first question mark. Then comma product dot get pname value, second question mark with the pname value, then comma product dot get price value, the third question mark with price value. That's it. Now the record will get inserted. You can display the message product inserted. The next one, update product. Prepare the SQL command string SQL equal to update product set price equal to question mark where PID equal to question mark. Now execute this command JDBC template dot update, pass your SQL command. First question mark should replace with price value, second question mark should replace with PID value. This first question mark should replace with our argument price value, second question mark with our PID value. Then the record will get updated. Now go with the message product updated. Now delete product. Prepare the SQL command string SQL equal to delete from product where PID equal to question mark. Then execute the command JDBC template dot update, pass your SQL command, replace question mark with our PID argument. Now display the message product deleted. Next one, listing of products. How to list the products? String SQL equal to select star from product and say return JDBC template. What method we use? Same method what we have discussed in Spring JDBC module, that is query for list. Query for list and pass your SQL command. So the written type of query for list is what? List map string comma object. So this is the written type. Now, so already I discussed about this method, what is written type, everything when I have discussed Spring JDBC module. Just please go through that video once again. Now, once we have done this, the next step is we need to do the database connections. Where to provide database connections? In application.properties file located under src main resources folder. Here provide the details like spring dot data source dot driver class name. What is our driver class name? com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver. Next one, spring dot data source dot URL. So what is URL? JDBC colon mysql colon slash slash localhost colon 3306 slash rajtechdb, our database name. Then next one, spring dot data source dot username is root. Spring dot data source dot password is root. In the case of Spring Framework, we used to provide all these database connection properties in Spring Bean XML configuration file. Whereas in the case of Spring Boot, we can provide this database connection properties in application.properties file. Now, let us test this application. So in order to test this application, we can go with this entry point for your Spring Boot JDBC application. Under src main Java, you can see the package now, com.springboot.jdbc. Here you can see Spring Boot JDBC application. Here, this is the entry point for Spring Boot application. Now, write the code here. We need to do the configuration. So, we need to do the configuration here. Configurable, write the code, configurable application context. Configurable application context equal to Spring application dot run, Spring application dot run, and pass here application dot class and pass your arguments. Right? Import the packages. So here we need to pass this name, Spring Boot JDBC application dot class, and pass here arguments. Now create product DAO equal to, call the method context.getBean and pass here product DAO dot class. So which is going to return the object of product DAO. So first what it is going to do, it's going to create object of this product DAO IMPL. This object is returned back to us and we are storing that object where? In product DAO. Now create object of product class, product equal to new product. Set the values, product dot set PID, let me say 101, product dot set pname, let me say monitor, product dot set price, let us go with 5000. Now the object is ready. Now by using DAO object, call the method insert product and pass your product object. Now run this application. Right click, you can run this one. Right click and say run as Spring Boot app. You can say run as Spring Boot app. Mark this one as @service. It's a service class @service. Import the package. So under this product DAO IMPL, we are marking it as service. Now, let us run this project again. Right click and say run as Spring Boot app. Now see, we are getting the product inserted. The product object has been inserted. Now check your database table. Select star from product. See, that record got inserted. Now, let us update the product. I am keeping the code in comments. Now, to update the product, we will call DAO.update product. For this 101, we want to change the price to 6000. So previous price was 5000. Now we want to update to 6000. Now right click and say run as Spring Boot app. You can see the results say product updated, and check your table. Check the table, select star from product. See, for this 101 product, the price has been updated to 6000. Now the next one, deleting the product. Call the method DAO.delete product and password the product ID 101. Now right click and say run as Spring Boot app. You can see product deleted, and check your table. There are no records present in the table. Now let us insert some products into the table. You can insert from here or from the program. Insert into product. values 101 monitor, then 5000, comma 102 keyboard 500, comma 103 mouse 300. Like that we can insert some records. So in our table totally we are having 3 records. Now let us display these records from our application. For this we need to invoke this list map string comma object product list equal to call the method DAO.get all products. So when you call the method get all products, it is going to return the product list in the form of map here. It's a list. Now traverse this list. What is this list type here? The list type is map. So you can say for map, let me take one product colon product list. So the list is what type? Say map type. So when you say product map product list, it's going to take one product and stores into this product. Now in this one, the column names acts as the keys and the records will act as the values. And this PR product is what? It's of type map. So in map, if you pass the key to the get method, it's going to return the value. See here. How to display the records now? You can call the method product.get of PID. Meaning, since this product is a map, in map we are having get method. To that get method, if you pass PID, that is our column name. If you pass this PID, it's going to return the value of that key. So the column names acts as the keys. The records will act as the values. So this loop will repeat for 3 times in our case. So first we are getting PID. Next, go with separator space product.get pname. Product.get pname, then space product.get price. So we are traversing the records present in product table using this enhanced for loop. Now run as Spring Boot app. Now see, we are getting the list of products here. Right? So we have developed this application using Spring Boot. So when we have taken Spring Boot, what are the advantages? No need to create any Spring Bean XML configuration file, and we provide the database connection properties in application.properties file, and we can run the application by loading your Spring Boot application using configurable application context. To get the context, using this context we can get the bean here. Right? It's a very easy way, very rapid way to develop this Spring JDBC using Spring Boot. Please practice this. This is very important. Right? Thank you. Please subscribe, like and share.